Trunks was distressed by the destruction of the time machine, and it was kind of hard not to be. The weight of his apparent failure and dooming future had been wearing heavily on the young man. And now, the Jeice Brigade knew that they needed to aid him in some shape or form. They couldn't just leave this future boy in the lurch. The sparring sessions hadn't lifted his spirits. I mean, it had been rudely interrupted by Goku Black after all, but still, they had to get the boy's spirit lifted again. Only then could he really stand against this evil entity and come out prosperous. Hopefully. Also, it seemed like Goku, Beerus and Whis had now just whisked themselves away to begin their investigations. Something about those time rings they recalled. Apparently that's what this evil doer was using to traverse different timelines in the fashion that he had done so. They could also see Vegeta was also worried about Trunks. This was actually weird, seeing Vegeta on the same page as them. Jeice approached him. Hey, don't go too harsh on him yet, Vegeta. We gotta try and lift up his mood. And then you two can train together. I think he needs this. He looked at the future time traveler from afar. The prince said nothing for a good long while, simply glaring at Jeice in complete silence. Fine, he muttered after a while. And that was that, just one word. For the Brenchians though, this wasn't something to worry about. This was a sign of trust, and in a special way, he actually kind of made the squad feel rather honoured in that moment by just uttering that singular phrase. So, Jeice gathered his team around him, and they approached Trunks once more. No use crying over spilt milk, mate. I'm sure if anyone can fix this time machine, it's gotta be Bulma. Come with us. We're gonna take you somewhere nice. I really shouldn't. They may need me at any second, Guldo chimed in. Oh, come on, Trunks. It'll put you at ease. Besides, Jeice can get you back with his instant transmission any second if you wanted. The future man said nothing, much like his father. He looked at the faces of the squad and sighed with resignation. There was no point trying to escape all of their hospitality. And then he saw Vegeta in the distance, who nodded slowly. Fine, he muttered in a manner very much resembling his father earlier. He really was his son, Jeice thought to himself. Yeah, even though he was a much nicer bloke. Yeah, the prince was still in him. As they were about to depart, someone approached them. It was the younger Trunk, the kid one. There was something really determined in his eyes too. Something that really flickered in the same manner as the older one. Hey, I want to go too! Guldo jumped like he had scared him or something like that. Most likely, yeah, that voice, that shrill voice, that would scare even me. Would that cause any, paradoxes or something? Burter shrugged. I don't know. I do remember them being pretty close in proximity to each other when this one was a baby, so I don't think anything bad will happen. Even though I don't really know much about time travel, but, time goes really fast and I'm fast and, just listen, 16 quickly analysed both Trunk's eye and decided to share his wisdom.
According to my calculations, if we indeed live in a multiverse, there shouldn't be anything dangerous about this one tagging along.
Jeice nodded slowly. Well, alright champ. Try to keep up though. We're not going to be sitting pretty or anything. We're going to be going pretty fast. Try me, old man! And as such, they started to fly, with future Trunks being the most confused of the bunch. They started with some nearby locations, looking for people who needed help with some menial tasks. The typical stuff maybe the Pride Troopers of Universe 11 would do. Cats stuck in trees, broken cars, bar brawls spilling out into the town. Future Trunks was surprised to see that the brigade had been recognized for all of this, and that they were doing such small tasks. Kid Trunks reminded him that there was a time when they were Earth's superheroes, and that they were welcomed back with open arms. Everyone was happy to see them again, making people's lives better along the way. 16 was helping the truck drivers change their tires. Burter was finding lost children. And Guldo was helping old ladies cross the road thanks to his time freeze ability. Soon, both Trunkses joined in on the fun, realizing what the Jeice Brigade was actually doing. The most stunning thing of all was how they managed to keep their smiles and optimism along the way, even though some of the people they tried to help weren't exactly all that grateful. The issues were nearly endless too, and the brigade had been on the planet for just several hours, and They seemed to be just as fresh and bushy-tailed as they were at the beginning, showing no signs of irritability. They visited all the cities, the sacred land of Korin, Giran's village, Jingle Village, and a lot of other places that Trunks had never heard about. Most likely because they had been destroyed by the androids and they were wrecks, so what's the point of naming them? But they weren't there to rest. This wasn't some kind of jolly jaunt, because people really did need their help. There were 2 incidents in particular, with criminals involved, but they took care of those pretty fast. So even though some of them were just kind of tasks to make people's lives better, some of them were actually genuine acts of heroism, but rather fulfilling ones too. And it was an adventure that took them a whole day and ended up on a remote island close to the southern continent. There was a small beach there, with a small hut, a place for a fireplace, and some deck chairs. Burter seemed happy at the sight of this.
Seems that our old place is still around, eh? Good.
16 nodded.
Confirmed. I shall commence tidying up.
The older Trunks was quite puzzled and looked at Jeice.
What? Oh, this is your place? I had no idea this existed.
Nah, not many people do. It was our retreat during the whole tour around the world we had one time, when we were still doing heroing here and there. You know, doing what we did today? Kinda miss that, honestly. How's it been for you? You had fun?
I gotta admit, even though it's far less decimated than mine, there's still stuff to do. It seems like it never ends, but, you know, it actually felt rewarding.
My goal with the Jeice Brigade, Trunks, the bigger organization, far off of Earth, is to provide services like those to all inhabited planets across our entire universe. Meanwhile, Kid Trunks and Guldo were play fighting whilst making a bonfire. Future Trunks sighed.
You know, I wish we had the Jeice Brigade in my timeline. Things may have been different.
Trunks, mate, I know that things may look bleak right now, but you're capable of doing some amazing things on your own. You are a natural born helper. I'm sure that Master Goku, you, and your dad will find a way to stop this doppelganger fool once and for all from destroying your world. I know you can do it.
And that ruffian tarnishing Master Goku's name, Recoome, does not like that one bit.
Recoome added. Yeah, buddy, that too. After some time, they built themselves a little grill and ate some space food that the guys had brought along with them. During this time, Kid Trunks decided to confront his older self.
So, why are you down? I don't know, kid. This looks kind of overwhelming. I've dealt with the likes of the androids, Cell, and even Dabura. But what if this time I can't do anything?
Well, that's not saying talk.
Kid Trunks seemed irritated. Guldo looked as if he wanted to intervene, but Jeice just stopped him with a look.
Come on, you're me. You're supposed to be brave.
Kid Trunks turned into a Super Saiyan, being the only other source of light on the beach other than the campfire. Future Trunks said nothing in response.
Come on, fight me!
A punch came from the kid. 16 wanted to divide the two as well, but Jeice held firm and kept them out of it. So Trunks, the kid wants to fight ya. Will you give him that kindness?
Though you do know, right, I'd crush him in one go, right?
Future Trunks muttered. Kid Trunks did not like the sound of that, but Jeice smirked. I wouldn't be so sure, mate. And as the younger of the two charged, the future warrior wasn't taking all of this any longer, and the sky became bright from the two fighting in the air. No, not fighting, sparring, but Burter was still nodding in awe.
Wow, the kid has got pretty fast. Almost as fast as...
Recoome patted him on the shoulder.
No one is faster than you, friend.
They flew around the island above the palm trees, fighting like two halves of the same being. There was some joy and enthusiasm along the way as Kid Trunks flew around, things that his future counterpart had completely forgotten about. But the determination and the fire he remembered from when he first returned to the past became more familiar to him. After a good 40 minutes of this, they returned to the beach, both tired but happier for doing it.
Thanks. I think I know what you tried to teach me. Win no matter what the opponent is.
Kid Trunks acted coy.
I did,
he giggled.
I just wanted to know if you're not a total pushover. I know that you were holding back.
Hey, we don't want to cause any paradoxes or anything. Jeice smiled. The stargazing though was kind of spectacular, even though it was a little chilly, as the sky over here was very clear, no light pollution at all. The brigade was telling everyone about planets and stars and their adventures, because people didn't really want to go home yet. And when it started to get very cold, Jeice used instant transmission to teleport everyone back to Capsule Corp, where Vegeta was waiting for them. Future Trunks approached him immediately.
Father, if I may, can we train tomorrow? I think I could use some of your help. Vegeta smirked. I hope you can keep up, boy. I don't tolerate slackers. Ain't it right, Trunks?
The kid Trunks saluted.
Also, you're in luck. It turns out that we still have Cell's time machine after all, so Bulma can use it to repair yours. She can? Well, get some sleep anyway, boy. We start early.
He turned his head to the younger of the Trunks.
That goes for you too.
Yes, sir!
At the end of that, he went over to Jeice. He looked around to make sure no one was listening in to them.
Thanks.
The Brentian looked rather puzzled.
That's alright, mate. Don't worry about it. Don't call me mate, but I think you really helped his spirit out there. Broken spirits can be pretty hard to heal. I know that very well.
Well, half of it was your son, I mean. You're the present one that helped out. You taught him well. Vegeta gave Jeice a nod. The brigade decided to spend the rest of the night in their old Earth quarters. It required some more tidying up, but it was comfortable enough. The very next day, they decided to travel to Capsule Corp to cheer for Trunks at his training session. Goku, Beerus, and Whis also returned to witness this as well. It seemed as if they had their suspicions regarding a mysterious individual confirmed for them. Bulma also brought out some joyous news as well. She had managed to repair the time machine in record time, so a few people could go into the future to confront Goku Black instead of just one. It was decided that Trunks, Vegeta, and Goku would go, but Jeice asked if he could travel as well. Although the machine was now slightly bigger, they would need some space to try and make it work and evacuate Mai, if she was still alive. Jeice had to have a very long conversation with his brigade for them to allow him to actually go.
Recoome doesn't want to lose another captain.
Yeah, you're the strongest of all of us, but I'm still worried, Captain. Guldo jumped around Jeice.
Yeah, are you sure, friend? I know that the Saiyans could use all the backup they need, but
Burter seemed the most worried over the fate of his best friend.
I think the captain should go.
16 interrupted them.
He is strong. He will prevail.
Thanks, 16. Appreciate it. The Saiyan crew gladly accepted this help. And as they went to the vessel, they traveled to future Trunks' dark and bleak future. And bleak and dark it was, as the first thing they saw were people with weapons attacking them. It was quickly revealed to be part of a misunderstanding, you see, as said people were part of Earth's very, very meager resistance.
Mr. Trunks, we're so glad you're with us, sir. I see you brought some backup from the past.
Wait, how do you know about them?
Miss Mai told us about it, sir.
Trunks' heart skipped a beat.
Mai, is she alright?
She's at the headquarters, sir. Come along.
As they were taken to the base and the two future lovers were reunited, Jeice was shocked at how bad the future was here. He remembered a similar sight from his work during the Freeza Force, but this was even worse. Vegeta, however, gifted every survivor with a banquet from a capsule, something that the starving people were happy to get stuck into immediately. Meanwhile, Vegeta and Goku played rock, paper, scissors to determine who would be taking on Black first. Jeice rolled his eyes at this. Here we go again.
Jeice, if something goes wrong, you take everyone back to the past, understood?
The prince approached the Brentian. He didn't like this option to be like just a helping hand, but yeah, he was here to help, to be fair. All right, but Vegeta, try not to die.
I'll try.
And as Goku Black was looking over his bleak creature, a challenger approached him. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now.